January 16, 2022. There's a big storm tonight. I can hear the wind howling through the trees. When we first moved up here, that sound used to scare me so much I wanted to hide under my bed, but not anymore. It's just the mountain singing, as Mrs. Keene would say. She told me I have to think of the mountain as a living thing. It has moods just like us. Well, tonight it sounds like it's on the warpath. Church was nice today. Once the kids saw me, they came running. We always find it easier when they spend the weekend at their grandparents' to just meet at church, since we will all be there. Today's coffee hour was cut short due to them needing the area for their monthly meeting. So we said our hellos and goodbyes, then headed to our favorite diner for lunch. We either order French toast or club sandwiches. Today we choose club sandwiches with fries. There is always a fight to see who gets Cole's pickle. Lily won today and Olivia was not too happy about it. The nice waitress brought her one to cheer her up, and it definitely did. It was such a nice quiet weekend. It's a shame Monday has to come by and ruin it. That means school tomorrow. I spent a few hours planning this week's lesson. Most kids are homeschooled up here. Lucky for my kids, we already had been homeschooling for 3 years before coming here. I find it harder to teach in the winter. It's all textbooks and videos. We love the spring and fall when we can go out into the world and see it firsthand. During the warm spring days, we take a big blanket and have class up in the field. It's something right out of a book, and yet this is my life. I have to pinch myself sometimes. Shep is whining at the door. He must need to go out. After I take him out, it's lights out for me. See you tomorrow. Sincerely. Big House on the Prairie. January 18, 2022. Well, we survived the storm. It's been 2 days and Lily and I were getting a little stir crazy. So we hopped in the snowmobile and went down to Tom's Bait and Tackle. He has a small library in the back. Nothing fancy, just a big wall of books locals have donated over the years. Lily and I are regulars. Tom is always trying to find books that interest kids. That's why he started the library in the first place. So kids had something to stop their brains from turning to mush. He isn't a fan of electronics. So you can imagine how happy he is to see Lily in here at least 3 times a month. He had just gotten a few new books from a second-hand shop he went to when he was visiting his brother in Utah and couldn't wait to show her. While they did that, I went in search of a book for myself. I have the hardest time finding books because I only read a certain kind of book. I love fiction, but not fantasy, almost always a western and always a love story. Every once in a while, I like a good biography. I just finished Becoming Michelle Obama. I definitely recommend reading it. But today I want a romance. I picked Marry Me at Sundown by Johanna Lindsey. Another western big surprise. I've been reading westerns since I was 12. Anyone who knows me was not surprised I moved to the mountains and married a cowboy. He didn't start out as a cowboy, but he sure is now. Seeing that city boy riding horses, hunting, fishing, chopping wood, and building things is amazing. I think he always had a little cowboy in him. He was just stuck in the city. He is more alive than I ever saw him when we lived in New York. I even let him grow that beard he always wanted. Not a big mountain man beard, but a nice clean manly beard. It's not so bad now, but when he was growing it out it always tickled and poked my face whenever I kissed him. It took all my strength to not make him shave it off, but I'm glad I stuck it out. Lily has found her book. Unlike me, she loves fantasy. Today she chose The Last Life of Prince Alistair. It is the second book in the series. Tom, you are the best. She was so upset when she finished it just to find out it was only part 1. I could have ordered it, but deliveries always take so long up here in the winter because the roads are always snowed in. I am going to go make a nice cup of tea, snuggle on the couch and start my book. Sincerely, Happy Little Bookworm.